Hey everybody, welcome back to the Bitch and Brainstorm Podcast. I'm your host, Elaine the Brain Torso, and I'm here with Johanna, who is going to tell us more about herself, what is keeping her stuck, and we will help her figure out how to get unstuck and how to get some momentum and some action and all of the things. So, Johanna, tell us more about you and what you do and how you help people.
Great. Well, thank you so much for this opportunity. I've I love everything that you do, and I'm so excited to join you today. So I do what is not a lot of people do. I talk to people about their end of life and what they want, what they don't want. I call myself a peace of mind guide because my experience is that addressing this before it's an emergency, in other words, while we're healthy, really brings peace of mind. And then when there is a crisis, you know what you want, people around you know what you want. So it's much more than just getting a will or advance directive in place. It's talking to your loved ones about, how would you deal with having to go into assisted living, or do you really want to stay at home? Are there some choices that you would make as you get to the end of life, and they might not agree with you, and so we need to talk about this ahead of time. um, I have been doing this since 2020, since the start of the pandemic. So I've developed my own signature program called Experience Peace of Mind Now, and that's a 5 session coaching program. I take people through a checklist, and I say that it covers the heart, soul, and mind of rest of life planning. Apparently, that's not very clear to some people. So, um, and oh yeah, I wrote a book this year. It's called Live Responsibly, Die Thoughtfully: How to Navigate the Rest of Your Life with Intention and Grace. And so I'm putting out a second edition with some book club questions on that in January.
Okay, so what is not working then? Why are you here?
For some reason, people don't want to talk about these things. Um, and I, to be honest, I have not been super consistent in my marketing. I have a private Facebook group called the End of Life Lounge. I have a YouTube channel also called the End of Life Lounge. I have just committed to sending out weekly newsletters, and I have about 450 people on my email list. So I just want people to say, oh, yeah, this is a great idea. Sign me up.
So it's not coming super easy then to get clients, to convert them into clients.
Yeah.
Okay. And so why, when you say that you're being inconsistent and you said something, nobody wants to talk about this stuff. So
That's an attitude, I
when
know.
we say that, what are we telling the universe? Nobody wants to talk about this, and so that becomes our belief,
Never mind, I'm good. Yeah.
which then literally creates why we don't talk about it, is because now we've decided nobody wants to talk about it, but they
Mm.
do want to talk about it, but you've decided they don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, a little conflict of interest there.
Right, right. So, do you have some of your own limiting beliefs maybe that you need to work through in order to kind of get you through this thing that you have put on yourself?
I often take a look at those, and it's like that's the trope, the line that people put out there, others put out there.
Hmm.
I have my own experience tells me that talking about it is the only way to get through it
Yeah,
with grace, and
yeah.
that's I think recently I've just decided I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say, and
Hmm.
finding my voice a lot
Hmm.
stronger,
Hmm.
and you know the latest, however many times it takes or however many hours it takes for people to get to know me and want to work with me. It keeps
Mm-hmm.
changing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so in those, I'm hoping that being consistent, posting every day, sending weekly newsletters. I haven't been super active in my YouTube channel, but
Okay.
that's something I want to do. So um, I say that people don't want to talk. I don't believe it
Okay.
because I know the power of
Yeah.
doing.
What would it look like if everybody wanted to talk about it?
Well, my vision is world peace,
Mm-hmm.
actually, because when we accept that we're mortal and we accept that those we love are mortal, it kind of makes everything seem less, everything else that we're worried about seem less
Mm-hmm.
important. And
Mm-hmm.
so it opens our hearts to others. We see ourselves in others. We're all headed in the same direction.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So.
Do you host any events or anything besides relying on social media? Like what else are you doing to market your business?
So I have a series of workshops that
Okay.
I was working with a local yoga studio to promote. I haven't done those for a year, but there are things like how to stop procrastinating with end of life planning, um, the 5 minute legacy love letter, 5 steps to successful end of life planning conversations. Um, and I would love to partner, find someone, a allied professional, maybe an insurance agent, financial services person who has the same audience. My
Mm-hmm.
ideal client is in her 50s to 80s, has had a loss and either went really well or not well at all.
Mm-hmm.
And she realizes, oh, I can either do this better or I can have the kind of experience that I want. So it's really planning for yourself, not taking
Mm-hmm.
care of elderly parents.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, um, they're 2 hour workshops and I can do them online or in person.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's, yeah, that's one of my 2025 visions is to do more of those workshops.
Okay. And so at those workshops, would those be free or paid?
Well, so far I've done them paid. I'm
Okay.
considering doing them free as a um, marketing tool
Okay.
to build audience.
Mm-hmm. So here's kind of what I would say when it comes to free or paid. So for me, when I do free workshops, which I haven't done for a while,
Hmm.
I do them as a way to build my list, but also use it as a prerequisite to what do I wish
Hmm.
people knew before they worked with me, or what do I wish they would have done before we
Hmm.
started working together.
Okay.
Um, so it kind of is a great introductory to working with you.
Hmm.
If it's paid, then they need to expect a result.
Yeah.
There needs to be some sort of deliverable, tangible result.
Hmm.
So if you offered this a free and a paid, I feel like do both.
Yeah, actually, I just was thinking do a more introductory, what you need to know in order to work with me, and that's free. And then you can either choose to do these 2 hour workshops and pay for them or sign up for my program and coach with me one on one.
Do you offer a DIY option?
I don't yet, no.
Okay. So here's kind of if you think about what you could offer, could be because you said there's a checklist,
Hmm.
right? So you could offer the paid classes. I'm going to give you the checklist. You're paying for it, but you're not coaching them through it. You're just,
Hmm.
here's everything you need to do.
Hmm.
So you could have that as that introductory DIY it. Okay.
Hmm.
Then having the a group, so we're going to go through the checklist together.
Hmm.
Or for people that feel like they have more of a very different scenario, maybe they need one-on-one support. So then you
Hmm.
have one-on-one support. So you kind of have three offers:
Wow. Okay.
DIY, a group option, and a one-on-one option.
Hmm.
People can choose which one works
Yeah.
best for them,
Right.
right? So because the goal is really all the same,
Hmm.
but And yeah, you could absolutely DIY. I tell people that all the time. You could absolutely DIY setting up your CRM. Okay. But are you going to?
Right.
Or do you need the hand holding and the
Mhm.
guidance and the support and someone to call when you can't figure it out?
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you were to maybe restructure a little bit and
Yeah.
then offer, oh, by the way, if you get stuck, I have this thing over here.
Yeah.
Um, so if you did 5 weeks, right? And so what that
It
can,
actually takes about 3 months
okay,
to do it because they have
okay,
to, they have homework, action steps, and
okay,
so yeah, it's about a
okay,
3 month long.
okay. The other thing I would say is I actually know somebody who I think could be a really good collaborative partner for you. Sure, if you know Jennifer Zuver.
No, I don't know her.
So she is in the financial space,
Hmm.
but she had a near-death experience.
Oh, yep, me
And
too.
so her whole thing has been, I gotta help women
Hmm.
because um, are they set for what happens if I would have died? Like
Yeah.
she did die, but came back,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
like, what if I would have?
Hmm.
Would I have had all my ducks in a row? Would my family feel like they have, right? So that could be
Yeah.
a really great collaborative
Hmm.
partnership.
Okay.
But I'm also thinking about people who help with the legal paperwork,
Hmm.
wills and trusts and things like that. I know there are people that do that, Legal Shield, even people that
Yeah.
Sandra Phillips, that could be a great collaborative partner as well to
Right.
have the legal stuff that you need, but
Yeah.
and then the other thing, I used to have a client that was super into bucket lists. And
Mm.
so it became this like bucket list challenge that she did. And there were 21 areas where you would put in a bucket list item.
Yeah.
And at the end of completing, um, have you seen the movie? Oh my gosh, it's like right on the tip of my tongue, but essentially it's about throwing yourself a funeral before you die.
Yes, right. A celebration of life while you're alive. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, um, Um, there's one that I'm thinking of, but one of them, I was like, oh my gosh, because when I saw it, I sent it to her and I said, oh my gosh, there's a scene in this movie, like freshly made. I don't know, a lot of tears, so many
Yeah.
tears in that
Yeah.
movie. But it was about right. So if there could be some
Hmm.
sort of, now that we've got it all done,
Yeah.
could we do this big event?
Right. Yeah. And because then you know yourself so
Mm-hmm.
well, and
Mm-hmm.
what you want people to remember you, and
Mm-hmm.
then you get to receive all that love
Yes, while you're still here to love
while
to
you're here
receive
to,
it.
although I am also a medium, and so I
Uh-huh.
do readings for people, and
Okay.
they tell me, the spirits tell me that they were present at the service, and just they'll
Yeah.
even share little details of something
Yeah.
that happened. So,
Yeah.
but no, for the loved ones to be able to
Mhm.
tell you those things while you're alive, that's so beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. So I feel like there's extra potential there. So like after they
Mhm.
graduate, and they have their shit together, like
Yeah.
that's literally what this is getting your shit together before you
Yeah.
die.
Yeah.
And I think it's okay to bring the humor into this.
Yeah.
And like, how can we make it fun and not feel like you're gonna die tomorrow? But
No, I
also,
mean,
let's be prepared because we don't know.
we don't know, but it doesn't bring it on any faster to talk about it. So
Right,
there are a
right,
lot of superstitions about that. So.
right. Exactly. So, when you think about marketing, what do you love about marketing? Like, what is the thing that you actually enjoy doing?
I would love hearing people's stories about, what went well, what didn't go so well, what they would do differently. Small groups are really ideal for me. I have visions of, speaking to large groups of like professionals at national conferences. that's like a 3-year goal.
Mhm.
But I'm kind of envisioning like living room groups.
Okay.
Somebody gathers 5 or 10 friends who are open to the topic, and I come and do a little mini workshop with them.
Mhm. Were you ever a part of Death Cafe?
So Death Cafe doesn't encourage commercial.
Okay.
So
Okay. But
um,
could you start your own version of it?
well, we've done that. I'm part of a collective
Hmm.
called the Edgewalking Collective, and we have a death doula and a spiritual
Hmm.
guide and a minimizer simplifier.
Hmm.
And so we were doing these things called death overdrafts, where we'd meet at a cider house or
Hmm.
a brew pub or something. But we found that it just wasn't very conducive to
Okay.
conversation, right?
Okay.
And so this month we started what we're calling mortalities.
Oh,
And the
fun.
T is
I
TA.
love a pun.
We
I
gotta have a
do.
pun, yep.
Okay. That's fun.
And yeah, so we use where'd my copy go? This game called the Death Deck, and this is a
Okay.
commercially available
Uh-huh.
product. And they're questions, and they always have kind of a snarky or silly
Hmm.
option, ABC, and you can always add your own. But they're just a great way to get conversations
Yeah.
going.
Yeah.
Uh, so
Have you
yeah,
ever heard of like a death in a box kind of thing or creating a death box?
no. Mm-mm. Ooh,
So that could be like a fun crafting thing where
yeah.
it's like we're going to create a box and you
Hmm.
can decorate it however you want, but it
Hmm.
contains all of the things, paperwork,
Hmm.
all of the things that someone, so okay, I pass away. Here's my box, right?
Hmm.
And it has, so I have a drawer
Yeah.
that has instructions of what happens if I die. and I sent my daughter a photo. This is where you will find it. It
Yeah.
literally has all the instructions step by step to notify my clients that I have moved on,
Right.
and how they can still get support. I have a backup person, like all of these things. But
Yeah.
I heard one time a gal, I want to say Sydney Bridges, and I don't know if you knew her or not, but I know she was doing massage, but she does grief, and then I want to say also maybe death doula as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but had this idea of making like a death box and like
Wow.
taking things kind of to the next level and really
Yeah.
putting some fun and creativity behind it,
Hmm.
you know? Um,
Yeah. I recommend to my clients that they get a fireproof bag for
mhm,
those documents because they're so important.
mhm,
And then in a
mhm,
go bag so that they
mhm.
can run with it if we have an
Yeah,
earthquake here in the
right.
Pacific
Yeah.
Northwest. I mean, the idea of a death box is lovely.
Hmm.
Um, I might do that with like mementos or like these legacy love letters. If you're not ready to give them to the
Yeah.
people you write them to, then
Yeah.
have it be more of a tender,
Hmm.
this is something precious to be opened
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
day. Yeah.
Um, okay, so you like doing marketing, not doesn't sound you didn't say anything about social media, you didn't say anything about doing videos, you didn't say anything about that. Which
Okay.
tells me that's not your comfort zone. Your comfort zone is if I can get in a room with someone, I can talk to them one-on-one, then
Yeah.
they're gonna be like, yes, I need what you have.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I do. I don't hate. I do videos regularly. I've started doing Death Deck lives with these cards again,
Okay.
where I just pick a card and go live on Monday mornings and
Hmm. Hmm.
in my Facebook group. I have been doing a read along with my book, and that's been so I put those videos up on the YouTube channel.
Okay.
Uh, I think having people having a visual experience of me is really important because
Hmm.
um, there's so much that just information we get from
Yeah.
seeing somebody.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so yeah, I should have I could have said that videos are
Yeah.
fine. Yeah.
Okay. Do you talk to me about networking? Are you doing any?
I am not. My experience is this is just kind of weird to people who are in, like I've contacted multiple lawyers, multiple doctors, um, and just have not found people
Yeah.
who are willing to,
So here's what I would suggest instead.
yeah.
Okay. I would suggest instead, you said your demographic are women ages 50s to 80s.
Mhm.
You didn't say doctors and lawyers. So maybe it's the doctors and lawyers are not your demographic because you don't
Yeah.
need to market to them. You need to market to the women.
And to their, I was thinking that then, we share the same client sort of
Right. I
profile.
get that
Okay.
100%.
All right.
However, I think you would have a better time at networking directly to
Mm,
women versus trying to get referrals from professionals. Are you familiar with Live Well Kitsap?
no. Mm-mm.
Oh, okay. So Live Well Kitsap is all focused around wellness, and I feel like that could be a great demographic for you. So they
Mhm,
have a directory on their website of the professionals that are members.
mhm.
They do meetings
Oh,
similar to Polka Dot, a little
mhm.
tiny bit different, but similar.
Yeah.
Leslie is who the Leslie Dullum, her last name used to be Tutterow, now it's Taylor. So I'm not sure if you're familiar with her, but she created it and she's a member of Polka Dot of our
Mhm,
local chapter.
mhm.
Happy to connect you.
Okay.
And she's going to be at our Monday meeting if you want to come, just saying. But she could be a great resource
Mhm.
because people that are in the wellness industry, I think could also be really great referral partnerships and potential collaboration partners,
Yeah,
because wellness does include death.
it does. Yeah.
Like, could we die well?
We
You know,
can. We can.
right?
Yeah.
So I feel like that there could be, and you're going to find people that are more also into holistic.
Right. And more.
So, right? So anybody that's in the holistic wellness space, I feel like
Yeah.
are like obvious
Yeah.
partnerships for you as well.
Yeah.
Um, Yoga, anything like that, I feel.
Yeah. Yeah. That sounds great. Yeah, because people, financial planners have their confidentiality agreements
Right.
and
Right.
doctors too, It's
Right.
like,
They're limited on what on that. So,
yeah.
um, green drinks,
Mhm,
Chamber of Commerce, BNI, Polka Dot, Live Well Kitsap.
mhm,
I'm trying to think of any. There's also Seroptimist, which is a great,
mhm,
I mean, it's a volunteer organization, but most of the women in that group are 50s to 80s,
mhm.
but it's very give back, community oriented, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I was in Seroptimist when I was a photographer and
Mhm.
I got clients out of that. It wasn't intention, but
Yeah.
it happened.
Mhm.
Um, I feel like the in-person things sounds
Mhm.
more up your alley than trying to rely on social media.
Yeah. Yeah, and I really love working in person with people. I've done
Yeah,
it over Zoom, and
yeah,
it works
yeah,
fine, but
yeah.
yeah, I
Are
can
you
meet
a part
people.
of any co-working
Yes,
spaces?
I'm at the Office
Live?
Expats on Bainbridge.
Okay, okay,
Yeah, so I have meeting space there.
cool, cool. Um, I would encourage a little more go into Paulsbo area and even Silverdale, I think,
Mm,
just to expand your reach because I don't go to Bainbridge unless I am like have a reason to.
mhm.
It's not somewhere, it's not a pass through.
No.
Silverdale is kind of that central hub.
Mhm.
Um, how about virtual networking?
I have not done that either.
Okay. With virtual networking, there's a whole other realm of openings, right? You're going to attract people from all over the world and not just local in Kitsap here.
Hmm.
So, there's e-women,
Hmm.
there's oh my gosh. I just know there's so many networking groups out there and you just gotta
Yeah.
find one that fits well for you. Um, and then you
Yeah.
have to commit to actually showing up.
I know that's the thing. It's like
Mhm.
it takes time and energy.
Yeah, yeah.
So
But I think though you would get a better return on your investment when you
hmm.
think about time spent versus earning
Hmm.
with networking than I think you would with social media
Hmm.
because so you said I go live in my group. How many people are in your group?
About 250.
Okay. Do you ever post on your own personal Facebook
I
or
post a lot on my own Facebook page. Yeah.
okay. Okay. Page or profile?
Profile.
Okay. How is that working? Are you telling stories? Like what is the
Yeah. It gets some likes, maybe 10 at most,
okay.
and then maybe 5 to 8 comments.
Okay. Okay. More engaging posts are gonna like asking questions, ask for advice, this
Mm-hmm.
or that. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's, you could ask people, I mean, if you have to, how can you be relatable? So the question that I think would be super helpful for you is, um, what happened when your parent passed?
Yeah.
And allowing people to share the nightmares
Mm-hmm.
of things had to go through probate. There was no will. There was no this. There was no that. Like there was no life insurance. Like I don't know, whatever. But like being able to hear people's experiences and go, don't you want to not, you want to prevent that for your kids?
Yeah.
Here's, this is what I'm doing. Would love to have you come to whatever. But I think asking those hard questions on your public
Mm-hmm.
Facebook profile. You can
Okay.
also ask it in your group. It's okay to double post there.
Yeah.
But using their words in your marketing. So when
Mm-hmm.
somebody is sharing a horror story, um, request to connect with them. Say, I would love to talk to you more about that. And like, what do you wish they would have done? And
Mm-hmm.
kind of doing some of that market research so that you
Mm-hmm.
can use their words in your marketing.
Yeah.
That was like some advice that a coach gave me once that was genius,
Yeah.
using their words.
Yeah. Yeah. I've done interviews with people, but just more sort of people who are just willing to share because they have that personal experience, and
Yeah.
it's had a huge impact
Hmm.
on them. And
Yeah.
yeah, that's great. I appreciate, when people post, but then I don't actually follow up with them, and that's
Hmm. Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Creating a plan as well. Like if you were to write out and map out your customer journey from start to finish. So
Hmm.
let's say the starting point is they comment on a Facebook post. Then
Hmm.
what? And then you, I feel like the goal is to find people that you would like to, hey, let's get coffee. I'd love to connect with you and hear more about what
Hmm.
you went through, not
Hmm.
as a sales pitch, but just, I would love to learn more.
Hmm.
Um, and starting that, building that relationship and learning more about somebody, I feel like that is a great entry point
Yeah.
but you have to be willing to say, I would love to connect with you and learn more
Hmm.
and take it to the next level because that's how you can, get people into your pipeline and also get really great marketing language
Yeah.
at the same time. and finding out, do you have a plan? Like now that
Mhm.
you went through this with your parents, what does your plan look like? And they're like, I don't have one. Well, did you know I helped with that? You know, kind
Yeah.
of thing.
Hmm. Yeah.
Okay. So creating a customer journey really is when this, then that. If
Hmm.
this happens, then that happens. And just mapping it out from start to finish. What is
Hmm.
that going to look like? If they come to your workshop, then what? If they sign up for your program, then what?
Yeah.
They graduate your program, then
And
what?
what? Yeah.
You know?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's, as you work with so many people and we all just want to do what we do. And
Of course.
thinking about how does somebody get to do what I want to do with them. It's not our strong point.
Yeah. When I first started my photography business way back in 2009, I was like, oh, like I don't just get to take photos. I have to be a marketing person. I have to build a website. I have to be a bookkeeper. I have to do my taxes. I have to know, like, there was so much more than just taking photos. I was not prepared.
No.
I
Yeah.
was not prepared. And I don't know if I would have still done it had I known. I
Exactly.
mean, honestly, it's a lot
Yeah,
of
but
work.
when we're called to do what we got to do, it's
I
like
know.
there's
Yeah.
just no stopping. Here I am,
Hmm.
still 5 years later, and
Hmm.
um, not not giving up. So
Not giving up.
you're giving up.
So, kind of based on this conversation, I'm really big on accountability and like, let's create some action steps that feel like they're in alignment with your goals and values. So, kind of
Mhm.
based on our conversation, where do you see yourself going next? Like, what's going to be the priority for you?
Sounds like networking in person is key.
Okay.
Um, so check out Live Well Kitsap and um, find one other group to just start checking out the different
Mhm.
groups.
Yeah.
Um, and continue with the uh, lives on Facebook. Um,
On your lives, is there a call to action of any sort?
um, so I would love to keep building my newsletter email list, and so I think that
Are those emails converting into customers though?
well, so people click on the links, but then that's probably another step in the customer journey. What do I do with,
Mhm.
I can't say, oh, I see you clicked on the link. That would
Yeah.
be kind of icky. Um, so, um, yeah, and I just started, it's only been two regular newsletters that I've sent out. So
Okay.
I've done it.
What kind of content are you putting in those newsletters?
I'm using a sort of formula of problem and solution and the process and the results. Just telling stories like
Okay.
that.
Okay. So I would be like the next event you have, I would be setting out something about an event. Um, I really like the call to action should always be, whether it's on a live video or whatever, scheduling a call with you.
Mm.
Right? We need to get them because you said when I talk to them, right? So you got to be able to talk to people. And the way to do that is, do you have a calendar where people can sign up for an appointment?
Yeah.
Perfect. So book a call with me. Here's the link. Book a call with me. Here's the link.
Okay.
And maybe even part of your um, the follow-up workbook. So maybe here's a pop rock for you.
Hmm.
I love a workbook.
Yep.
I'm a workbook whore. You know that,
Mhm.
right? So, what if you set out to interview 20 people? And what if you had very specific questions that you asked each person? So this is a one-on-one interview. This is not a survey. And you record it and you transcribe it. Okay.
Mhm.
And you tell them, I want to make a follow-up workbook to my book, and I need your perspective because we don't know, it's important to hear their words.
Mhm.
But using the interviews as a way to also, oh, by the way, I can help. So maybe as a part of like a gift of thanks for, maybe you give them a copy of the ebook,
Mhm.
right? As a gift of being someone that you are interviewing. So maybe you are really specific, has to be someone between this age and this age. They needed to have a parent pass or a close person, a relative pass away and had
Mhm.
a great experience, a terrible experience, a so-so experience.
Mhm.
Um, maybe also, so kind of think about the different types of demographics that you would want to interview. And if you could know anything, what are the
Mhm.
questions you would ask them?
Mhm.
And use those to make the follow-up, use those interviews to create the follow-up and share stories about why this is so important.
Mhm. Mhm.
So Jane had a terrible death experience with her when her mom passed away. This is
Mhm.
all the shit that happened. And had she done this, it would have saved this headache.
Yeah.
Just as a way, I think, to like
Mhm.
make this follow-up have more meat and potatoes in it, as well as uh intentional calls to action and um the things that we can do
Yeah.
for the DIYer.
Mhm. Mhm. So this would be something I put out on my profile
That
page and
you're
just,
looking, yeah, and you could
yeah.
even have like an application,
Okay.
right? You can have an application,
Mhm.
and you start just putting it out to the masses that you're looking for people to interview.
Mhm.
You could put it in like, some of the community groups as well. You're not
Mhm.
selling anything, you're just looking for people to interview. And
Yeah.
I guarantee you will have so many people because everybody has a terrible death story.
And they want to talk about it because that's part
They
of
need to
processing it.
talk about it, they need to process it.
Yeah.
Right? And then now you have face-to-face contact with people
Yeah.
that don't want that to happen to their loved ones.
Mhm. Mhm.
What a great way to showcase what you do. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, because the content of marketing that I do needs to, yeah, be real.
It
It's
needs
like,
to be relatable, and you need
mhm,
other people to go, me too.
yeah,
Me too.
yeah.
Okay, so going to continue doing lives on Facebook,
Mhm.
finding some networking. Is there anything else that you feel like is going to be a priority for you?
What do you recommend in terms of like things to hand out when I go to networking groups?
I would keep it small.
Hmm.
In fact, you know what my favorite tool is? It's called a dot card.
Oh, okay.
And it's a business card, but it's also like you can tap with your phone or they
Hmm.
can scan the QR code. And that
Hmm.
literally creates, it was $20 one time. I don't have to ever buy business cards again. And I can update this profile. You can have as many links as you want. They can download this into their contacts. Got your picture. Mine has a little me with my little magic wand. You can have your website, your phone number, your email, a gift lead magnet,
Hmm.
all the things. All of your social media links are all there as well.
Hmm.
So, you could do that if you are like super enthusiastic about giving out things. Um, You could do maybe a rat card.
Hmm.
Um, okay, let me just tell you. I went to a luncheon right before this call. We had a little lunch meeting. It wasn't really like it was a not a it was more like a little open house for polka dot.
Hmm.
And there's this gal that is a psychotherapist, but
Hmm.
wants to start doing retreats. And so I
Hmm.
was like, oh my gosh, I would love to have your card. She hands me this little, it looks like an invitation. It's got a wax seal on it, and it had her card inside of it. I'm like, ah, it felt super fancy.
Yeah.
And guess what? It left a memorable impression. I will never forget ever receiving this
Mm-hmm.
very fancy little invitation. I was like,
Wow.
so you
Hmm.
could get a little fancy if you wanted to and
Okay.
be memorable,
Yeah.
you know. I was like, I loved it.
That's a great idea.
It was something I did not expect at all.
I just had this image of a card in the shape of a coffin and you open it up.
I love it. That's hysterical. Could the on the inside could be a little mirror. Guess who's gonna die? Me, right? Everybody dies, right? I love it.
Too funny.
Yeah, yeah. So I would, I and she's just said I didn't open it because it was too pretty.
Mhm.
But she said it has a list of her services inside.
Hmm. Okay.
So like card stock, you could easily get like a Costco doesn't do cards anymore. They'll go through Shutterfly, but
Mhm.
you could get some cardstock cards made and then just,
Yeah.
make them nice and
Mhm.
something that has your photo on it. QR code for people that are comfortable with scanning,
Mhm.
that know how to
Yeah.
scan stuff.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, so I would be more apt to like not throw that away
Yeah. Yeah.
than a flyer or a brochure or something. I would more something that's more tangible and heavy
Mhm.
duty. I'm less likely to throw it out.
Okay.
And instead of putting dates on stuff and like upcoming events, I would instead put like, have those on your website, a list of events, but have a thing like, hey, go check out my upcoming events, scan here, or, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
hmm
Okay.
And if I was being super fancy and I was using my CRM, I would say text the word events and I'll text it right back to you.
Well, I'll get there. I'll get there. That is my goal to get to the level where I can work with you to do all this amazing stuff.
Yeah. Okay. So you feel like you have a good plan?
I do. I do.
Okay.
Very inspired because this it's really come together how I'm integrating the mediumship with the and rest of life planning, and that's a another avenue to get people to stop being afraid of dying, because
Mhm.
then they hear from their loved ones and like, oh, well, we continue in some form or other.
Yeah.
Uh,
Mhm.
and so finally bringing those together this year, and just looking forward to a really fun,
Yeah.
exciting 2025. So,
Yeah. All
yeah,
right.
great.
Well, if there's anything I can do to support you along the way, please don't hesitate to reach out. You know where to find me.
I gotcha. Yeah. And
Awesome.
Monday, where is your meeting? Is it still
Uh,
in
It's
Bremerton at that restaurant?
it's at Restore Catering and Events,
Okay.
um, which is in West Bremerton. It's about 5 minutes off of the highway.
Mhm.
So I'll give you more details if you want. But
Okay.
yeah.
Wonderful.
Well, thanks for coming and being a guest on my podcast.
I am so glad you're doing this. Yay.
All right, everybody. We'll see you later.
Hey.